Today on Winthrop Close Up, why local roads aren't getting the attention they deserve.
A state representative, a sheriff, and an attorney make an appearance at Winthrop to talk about justice. Coming up next.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. My name is Jacob Hallex. Potholes, it's a problem that all drivers have to deal with. Reporter Brandon Great finds out why several York County highways are in such rough shape.
If you are driving on a York County road, there is a good chance that it needs some improvements. In fact, 78% of those roads are eligible for resurfacing.
There's about 400, 500, 600 miles of roads that are in bad shape that need what we would consider to be immediate resurfacing.
And drivers are not happy either. One Rock Hill resident talks about the declining conditions of the roads.
In rough shape, all of them. Not just running on Leavenport, all of them.
A lot of the roads here in York County are in desperate need of repair and resurfacing, including East Main Street and Old Town Rock Hill. However, officials are working diligently to try and alleviate the problem, but funding is limited.
The city of Rock Hill obviously tries to work on a priority system. We have limited funding, but we apply that funding where we feel like the greatest need is.
Any safety issue that the public sees, anything that's deemed a safety issue, it's our obligation to respond to it. We may not be able to resurface the road that day, but we've got an obligation to fix potholes. We've got an obligation to stand stop signs back up and keep our roads and highways safe.
Brandon Great, Winthrop Close Up.
Ebonport Road in Rock Hill is one of the roads at the top of the SCDOT priority list. It is being repaved later this month. Per capita, the United States incarcerates more people than any other country in the world, and a large fraction of those convicted are minority citizens. While some call it justice, others say justice isn't being served. Michaela Dunbar is at Winthrop University with more on a community discussion.
I'm here outside of Dina's Place at Winthrop University, where the Council of Student Leaders will be hosting a panel to discuss the recent outcry for justice nationwide.
Whether it was the Trayvon Martin case, or whether it was the Gardner case, or the Michael Brown case.
After recent controversial cases, Representative Tommy Pope, Public Defender Harry Dest, and Sheriff Alex Underwood addressed Winthrop students and their concerns.
What we have to understand is what are the factors and circumstances that are causing this mass incarceration? And more importantly, what people or what demographic group is being incarcerated?
In the state of South Carolina in 2014, 64% of our population in prison was African American. But yet, they make up 27.9% of our population.
You know, what happens, sometimes you see a bad situation and negativity begats negativity, you know, in the way people conduct themselves in protest.
I think one of the biggest things that the group took away from the panel is just being able to form your own opinions based on facts rather than what's presented in the media or by word of mouth.
What you think you know, based on what you heard or what you saw online, may not be all of the facts. And I think so, more than anything, what I hope these guys will take away is keeping an open mind.
It's a crucial question. Students asked and the panel presented valuable insight into the justice system. This has been Michaela Dunbar, Winthrop Close Up.
Next up on Close Up, a thief strikes a local apartment complex. We'll hear from one student whose misfortune has Campus Walk cracking down.
Find out how this old textile industry has the potential to be a major hotspot in Rock Hill.
Welcome back. These are the week's top headline stories. Texas Senator Ted Cruz announced on Monday that he will run for president.
Today,
he made the announcement in a 30-second video on Twitter.
About the
Monday
promise.
morning, he spoke at Virginia's Liberty University, the world's largest Christian university.
Imagine your parents today, when they were children. I am announcing that I'm running for president of the United States.
Cruz is the first to formally announce his candidacy in what is expected to be a crowded GOP primary. Parents and students protested out of a Fort Worth, Texas middle school Monday morning. The protest was over a graphic book online that an 8th grade boy wrote. In it, he referenced killing his own classmates. Protesters were upset the boy was allowed to return to class, and they think he should be removed from school.
The environment just feels so much more different, and it feels like at any moment something bad could happen, and it feels just horrible knowing that there's a kid like that who wants to actually hurt people, and it's just scary.
The school district superintendent said that the district took immediate action to secure a safe learning environment after hearing about the book. Joining us now to talk about today's feature stories is reporter Gabrielle Franklin. Gabrielle, what do you have for us today?
Thank you, Jacob. Students who live in a nearby off-campus apartment complex are fed up with security issues. I sat down with the victim of a campus walk car theft.
Didn't realize I put my keys down beside me, and when my ride got here, I just got up and went.
Lauren Leaks is a junior at Winthrop and one of the latest victims of theft at Campus Walk Apartments. On February 7th, Lauren left her keys in the Campus Walk lobby. When she returned from her outing, her car was gone.
A random guy just came in, saw my keys right there on the couch, and took them. And apparently went around in the parking lot, played around with the key until he found whose car it belonged to.
That random guy is this man. Authorities say he was a visitor of another Campus Walk tenant. Here in the Campus Walk parking lot, there are no security cameras. This leads some to wonder if this makes the apartment complex a target for crime.
You know, I really wish they would put some cameras out there in the big parking lot, or even this parking lot in the middle. They should do something.
Another big issue for tenants was that other students were not notified after the car theft occurred. Brad Hastings is the COO of Campus Walk Rock Hill. He says that tenant safety is their #1 concern.
Communication is key when these things happen. By no means is Walk to Campus trying to not alert people to issues that are going on. We're also not trying to create undue alarm. So usually the catalyst for us for doing sort of a mass communication is when there is an immediate threat to the safety of our tenants.
But going forward, Leaks hopes to see more notice from Campus Walk.
If something like this happened to somebody else, I would want to know.
Immediately after our interview, Campus Walk sent students an email about safety and began new safety initiatives. The city of Rock Hill is undergoing a major transformation. Reporter Brandon Great discovers how a new land development could become the heart of the city.
It's no secret that the city of Rock Hill is expanding. Local plants, food markets, housing subdivisions, and business parks have all sprung up in the town. Along with these developments is Knowledge Park, an urban inner-city park that will connect Old Town Rock Hill to Winthrop University.
It's going to focus more on technology jobs and businesses. It's going to focus more on the ability of our community to provide talent to those businesses.
And a lot of the abilities businesses are looking for could come from Winthrop University.
They are the talent of the future. And we need to be keeping more of those students in Rock Hill and creating job opportunities for them in Rock Hill.
I'm standing outside of the old textile factory in Rock Hill, which will be the central location for Knowledge Park. Knowledge Park will represent a new beginning for Winthrop students and Rock Hill residents.
The trend now is that people want to live and work and play in more of an urban environment.
We're trying to create not only the jobs that those Winthrop students could take advantage of, but also the sort of lifestyle, the amenities that young people, both in college and after they graduated, are looking for.
Brandon Great, Winthrop Close Up.
For more information about Knowledge Park, log on to knowledgeparkrockill.com. The man accused of attacking a TSA agent with a machete at the New Orleans airport has died. Authorities say 63-year-old Richard White chased an agent through a security checkpoint with a knife on Friday night. A sheriff's deputy then shot White 3 times. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff says White also had 6 Molotov cocktails in his bag. Authorities believe White had a mental illness. That's it for our feature stories. Back to Jacob in the News Center.
Thanks, Gabrielle. We are all working hard to save money, so in today's Making Sense report, learn how to save a few bucks at a nearby restaurant.
June 6, 1986, I opened this location. My 2 brothers and I started the chain, the franchise of Substation 2 in April of 1975 in Sumter, South Carolina. I worked the corporate office, owned other units in other towns, and then in '86 I came here, and I've been here ever since. Well, all students, and not only students, but admin and faculty, everybody gets 15% off every day. We decided we want to run a delivery service to Winthrop campus proper. We started Monday. We'll run it Monday to Friday, 11 to 9 p.m.
Welcome back. The Winthrop English Department brought award-winning poet Derek Burleson to campus to read his latest work. I was present to catch all of the highlights.
Pain and loss. Poetry is there for our consolation. That's why it's been around for thousands and thousands of years.
The wildfire raged. I mean raged. It was wildfire flaming out of me, spruce seeds, fire from the cone exploding onto the now fertile blackened ground.
I'm a big fan of Derek Burleson, who I learned about just last semester, but that's pretty cool. And as the editor-in-chief of the anthology Winthrop University's Art and Literary magazine, I think we should support the arts where we can.
Well, I've known Derek for almost 30 years. We've been in touch off and on. I was just inspired last year. I just thought about this guy's poetry. It's so infused with place and places that most people here in South Carolina are privileged to know.
I believe that people become, in a very scientific way, a part of the place they're from. As we eat, as we breathe, as we drink, we're becoming a part of that place. As we experience the culture and the language of that place, that becomes part of us. And I try to honor that in my poetry.
The poetry reading was a joint program by the English Department and Global Learning Initiative. Thanks for tuning into this week's Winthrop Close Up. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Winthrop Close Up to stay up to date on campus news. See you next week.